Before you scroll past this video, stop right now, because this is not random and this is not an accident. You clicked for a reason, and deep inside you already know something in your life feels heavy, something feels delayed, something feels uncertain, and you have been carrying questions you do not always say out loud. You have been asking God, why is this taking so long? Why does it feel like I am trying so hard and still not moving? Why does it seem like everyone else is progressing while I feel stuck in the same place? And maybe the hardest part is pretending you are fine in front of people who have no idea how much pressure you are carrying internally. You smile, you respond, you show up, you handle responsibilities, but inside your mind does not slow down and your heart feels tired, and some nights you lay awake thinking about the same situation over and over, wondering if something will finally shift. And listen carefully, just because it feels slow does not mean it is stopped. Just because it feels quiet does not mean God is absent, and just because you do not see visible progress does not mean growth is not happening, because some of the most powerful transformations in your life will happen in seasons that look ordinary from the outside but are extraordinary beneath the surface. And maybe what frustrates you most right now is not the problem itself, but the waiting attached to it, because waiting stretches your patience, waiting exposes your fears, waiting forces you to confront thoughts you normally distract yourself from, and in that waiting you start questioning your worth, your timing, your decisions. You start comparing your journey to others. You see their success, their relationships, their achievements, and you wonder if you missed something, or if you made a mistake that delayed everything. But your timeline is not random, and your delay is not punishment. What if this season is preparation? What if this silence is strengthening? What if God is building capacity in you before releasing responsibility to you? Because elevation without stability creates anxiety. Success without maturity creates collapse. Opportunity without wisdom creates chaos. And maybe God cares more about who you are becoming than what you are receiving. Because blessings without character become burdens. And right now, even though it feels slow, something is developing inside you. Your patience is stretching, your emotional reactions are being tested, your ability to trust without visible proof is growing, and every time you chose not to give up, every time you chose to pray instead of panic, every time you chose to stay disciplined when quitting felt easier, something strengthened inside you, and you may not see it yet, but foundation work is happening. And foundation work is invisible. Nobody celebrates foundation work, nobody applauds hidden growth, but without it everything eventually cracks. And maybe that is why this season feels repetitive. You wake up, handle responsibilities, deal with small frustrations, fight silent battles in your mind, go to sleep and repeat. And it feels like nothing dramatic is changing, but repetition builds discipline, and discipline builds stability, and stability sustains destiny. And the truth is, quick success often creates long-term instability, but slow growth creates sustainable strength. And God is not in a hurry like culture is. Culture celebrates overnight wins, instant fame, immediate gratification, but spiritual growth does not operate on urgency. It operates on maturity, and maturity takes time. And maybe what feels like isolation is actually protection. Maybe what feels like rejection is actually redirection. Maybe what feels like closed doors are actually walls preventing you from walking into something that would have cost you peace. And peace is more valuable than speed, and alignment is more valuable than attention. And you might not understand right now why certain relationships shifted, why certain opportunities faded, why certain plans did not unfold, but one day clarity will replace confusion, and you will realize that what felt like loss was actually positioning, and what felt like silence was actually strategy. And if you are honest, the pressure you feel right now is not just external, it is internal. It is the pressure of expectation, the pressure of wanting more, the pressure of not wanting to waste your potential. And that pressure can either break you or build you, and the difference is perspective, because pressure refines what is weak and strengthens what is ready. And you are stronger than you think. You have survived days you once thought would break you. You have endured conversations that shook you. You have faced uncertainty that scared you, and yet you are still here, still believing, still hoping, still listening. And that means your faith may feel tired, but it is not gone. Your hope may feel small, but it is alive, and small faith is still faith. And sometimes the greatest act of faith is simply not quitting. And right now your responsibility is not to control outcomes, it is to stay faithful where you are, to keep showing up even when motivation drops, to keep trusting even when clarity is missing, to keep praying even when answers feel delayed, because faith is not proven when everything makes sense. Faith is proven when everything is uncertain and you still choose Belief, and maybe tonight you need to release the timeline you created in your mind. Maybe you need to let go of the expectation that everything must happen by a certain age, by a certain month, by a certain deadline, because God is not bound by your schedule, and delay does not mean denial, and slow does not mean stopped, and silence does not mean abandonment. It means something is aligning behind the scenes conversations. You cannot hear doors, you cannot see protection you do not yet understand, and one day when the breakthrough finally comes, it will not feel random, it will feel prepared, it will feel stable, it will feel right, and you will look back at this season and realize it was necessary. It was shaping you, refining you, grounding you, deepening you, teaching you endurance, and endurance carries destiny, and destiny requires depth, and depth is built in seasons of waiting. And if you quit in the waiting, you miss the strengthening, but if you remain steady in the waiting, you enter the next season ready, and the version of you forming right now is calmer, wiser, more discerning, less reactive, more grounded, and that version of you will be able to carry what is coming without losing peace. And before this video ends, hear this clearly: you are not forgotten, you are not behind, you are not disqualified. Your story is still unfolding, your growth is still happening, your breakthrough is still possible, and what feels like silence is not empty, it is intentional. What feels like pressure is not punishment, it is preparation, and what feels like delay is not denial, it is designed. So stay steady, stay grounded, stay faithful, because when God moves visibly, you will realize He was working invisibly the entire time, and what you thought was the end of progress was actually the beginning of becoming stronger than you ever imagined. And tonight, instead of asking, why is nothing happening, start declaring something is building, something is shifting, something is aligning, and even if you cannot see it yet, you trust that it is forming, and that trust will carry you into the next season stronger than fear, stronger than doubt, stronger than delay. And when the door finally opens, you will walk through it with stability, not desperation, with peace, not panic, with gratitude, not pride, and you will understand that the waiting was worth it.